Hey there. Hey, where is it you need to go? Ah, I see, I see. Okay, strap in. I'll take you there. No problem. No problem at all. Hmm? Well, it is an odd situation, considering you are in the middle of nowhere, and that all I see in the far horizon, I can hardly see. It's pretty dark outside, actually. But from what I know, there's just fields here, and somewhere ahead of us is a forest. And yeah, this is actually a hard situation. Sorry for wanting to pry, but how did you get out here? We're kind of a few miles away from any sort of town, and by the looks of you, you, you don't look like anything bad has happened. So, how did you get here? Okay, you don't have to tell me then. I won't pry. Well, no, this isn't the weirdest thing I've come across. I've picked up some rather unusual people in my time, I have to say. Because it pays just a little bit extra to come out here. I do work, um, I do drive people around in the city, but when it gets darker, and more people are usually coming home from work and, you know, from, I don't know, what, bars and clubs and that kind of stuff, or going to bars and clubs, depending on what the time is, there are more Uber drivers around, and generally, I don't get a lot more work than I do during the day. So I choose to pick up people out here, because it just pays a little extra money. Oh, yeah, yeah, oof, yeah, no, I've seen some really, really interesting people, I have to say. Like who? Hmm, okay. Um, well, there was this chap not long ago. I think about 3 days ago or something. It was like this small like dock with a little town surrounding it. Not very big, not very big. It's um, it's also not that far from here. I got a call from him to come pick him up there. I did, of course. Um, the chap looked really messed up. Looked like he got beaten to hell. And I swear on my left hand and my right pinky toe that he had a gun on him. But he didn't seem like he was any harm to me. If anything, he probably was selling drugs and trying to escape from the people he sold drugs to or something. Oh yeah, no, yeah, I was scared. I was definitely scared. When you pick up people like that, you obviously fear for your life, but I mean, in a day and age like this, where machines are taking over jobs and all of that kind of stuff, machines haven't taken over driving people to places yet, so... Well, it works out. Also, who doesn't like a little bit of adventure, right? Oh, the chap wanted to, well, the chap wanted to go back to the city. He made me drop him off at some alleyway. I didn't really pay attention. I was just driving, and he just said, stop here, so... I guess he went to go where he wanted to go. Probably didn't want me to know where his house was. No, I didn't report it. Sadly, firearms aren't necessarily legal around here, so... Yeah, it's entertaining at times. I mean, I don't always talk to people. I try to. But, to be respectful, not everyone wants to talk back. So there have been some very silent, creepy rides as well. For example, I swear to God that I picked up the ring girl at some point. Almost like your situation, except she looked battered. White dress, long black hair. Could hardly see her face. Picked her up. Didn't tell me where she wanted to go. She just said drive. I was like, okay. I'll drive to the city then. She said, yeah, okay. Sounds good. It was a little creepy, I have to admit. I had my phone ready to dial the police. Luckily for me, I just took her to the city and she got off. But damn, it was creepy. Because the whole ride was silent. Just silent. Didn't help that it was drizzling a little bit. There were a few raindrops on the windowsill. And the pattern on the ceiling. It was also dark. No, darker than this actually. There weren't many street lights as well, so it's actually really creepy. I don't know what this person was doing out there either. Yeah, they didn't say anything afterwards. They just got out when I took them to the city, and that was about it. Oh yeah, of course, of course. All the nearby towns here are really awesome. Well, when you own a car and your job is to drive people around, you get to see some pretty cool things. Well, a good example would be that, well, since driving people around places is kind of like watching a television show. Just something really interesting. This dude I picked up, I don't know, little town, little small town. They're more known for selling wines and art. That's about it. Surprising little town. Very nice, I have to say. I have a little nice cafe there I like to go to from time to time. Makes the best coffee. I tell you, the best coffee. I believe the shop was called Beans. Anyways, picked up this dude from there. The type of dude that you would expect to be the head of an office. A proper suit. He looked like he was a proper businessman. He was also on the phone. So obviously I didn't administer a conversation with him. Through the entire drive he was on his phone, talking to someone. And I must say, the conversation over that was, oh, it was amazing. It was wonderful. Uh, okay, it was actually quite sad, but pretty much what happened was, apparently I was talking, I don't know who I was talking to, probably like a friend or maybe even a lawyer at that point, but apparently he had cheated on his wife. It was kind of weird. I have to admit, at the beginning it was quite entertaining, because the scenarios this guy is in, and pretty much the entire situation was quite comedic, I have to say. Pretty comedic, actually. It's yeah, it was interesting, and then I just turned into sour and sadness, and then I got comedic again. Yeah, and shot the guy. The guy cheated on his wife, and he was in another relationship after he had cheated. She didn't know. Apparently, he had done so for a few years. Didn't specify, but after he had cheated, he got in a relationship. Didn't mention the girl's name. I don't know who the person he was talking to. I assume it was a friend or something like that. But yeah, no, he had an affair, and this is where the comedy gets in. Is that after he had this second girlfriend, he had another affair with a third woman, and I have to admit, I do not know how someone has both the audacity and the balls to pull off such a thing. Because if you have seen an angry wife, you know they are scary as hell. I don't know if the guy had kids. Probably did. I don't know, since he had 3 affairs. I don't know for how long, maybe for a while, all I know. But at the end of the drive, from what I could tell, all 3 of them found out. So yeah, that was interesting. I have to admit, that was an interesting one. Well, I haven't come upon any creeps specifically towards me, considering I'm an average Uber driver, and I'm not the most fashionable person, as you can tell. But I have come across a few creeps towards other people. And I think those were the times that I actually did report. Yeah, no, like some really creepy people. And surprising, they're not all dudes, actually. Got some pretty creepy gals as well. Actually, now that I think about it, probably psychotic. A few of them were quite psychotic. No, they weren't scared about sharing anything. Well, probably because I'm an Uber driver. I probably have no correlation to their life whatsoever. But like, if you were not scared of sharing anything, and you get the average ones, just creeping on some younger ladies, either on the internet or in real life. Oh, and then you get the The real weirdos. That yeah, they do things that I really not approve of. And then then obviously there's one that I actually refused to drive. Got quite aggressive at some point, but I had to kick him out. Because I'm not having someone damage my car. Or damage me. Well, you can damage me, but don't damage the car. But this dude was asking me to follow this lady's car. Yeah, no. I might want money, but I can risk myself, but I'm not risking some other person. Yeah, no. Oh, well, yeah, I've come upon some of them. Not very often. Within my 5 years of driving, I've only come across like itsy bitsy people like that. Well, they look rich. They sound rich. They sound very posh. Um, obviously with like the gold watches, the clean, sleek black suits. You don't often get them because they usually have their own drivers and cars. But each one of these people that I have driven that are obviously very wealthy, they either look like they're in a big rush or something very urgent has happened. And I mean something so urgent that they were about to shit their pants. Which did give me a little scared, not gonna lie. I don't necessarily want this car smelling like shit. I have to admit, it's a beautiful night tonight. Yeah, we've reached the forest. I can see the trees. Thank God for the moonlight. Makes it easier to see around us. Well, yeah, well you see this road becomes quite dangerous. A lot of people have, there have been a lot of car crashes due to wild animals. And other things. Well, there have been some stories about creatures in these woods. I don't know, can you handle something scary? It was really terrifying things that I've heard. Are you sure? Okay, I'll tell you. There have been like, a lot of reports of people seeing, I don't know, some really weird shit around here. Not just towards car crashes as well. Like people, obviously get the dumb people that are camping without many people with them, either by themselves or without proper supplies. But you hear like these weird stories, because I picked up a few of them. Like this dude, actually. I got an example of you. This is a perfect example. This dude, not on this road. It was actually on another road, more in that direction, to the side there. Yeah, it's, I was just driving through here, because I just dropped someone off and I was getting ready to go home. And I just passed this dude that he was just standing in the middle of the road. Obviously he was trying to signal me, but the dude was so terrified he was ready to be crushed over by a car, just to either get out of this planet or get out of that forest. He was terrified. I stopped, of course. I let him in. Dude was battered. Noticed a bit of blood on him. Was very freaked. I don't know what he had done or what had happened to him. He asked me to quickly drive him to the nearest police station. I told him, okay, I'll do that. I don't want to argue with this man, so I'm just gonna drive him to the police station. Also, I doubt that someone who is hurt, another person, would drive to a police station. Maybe a hospital, but not a police station. Anyways, so as I was driving there, I was like hyperventilating, terrified dude. He was sweating balls. His eyes so red with tears and puffy. Even his cheeks, they were raw from crying. I asked this dude, are you okay? What's wrong? What happened? Didn't want to answer, so I had to persuade him a little bit. Considering this is kind of probably a serious situation. He tells me he saw something. He was out there camping with two of his friends. He told me that he was in college, and his two college friends he was with, they had a chance to go out camping for a weekend. And he said, what he said is that they had heard something outside of their tents while they were busy messing around. And a dumb horror movie thing, by the way. Don't leave your tent. You'll die. But the ironic thing is that this dude left his tent. Obviously his friends, he said his friends were like, no dude, don't go out. And he told me that of course he went out. He wanted to see what this was because there weren't really any sightings of bears, not really of anything dangerous that was confirmed. So obviously he thought, you know what, this place is safe. Told me he went to go look out, thinking it was some cool deer or something. He went out. Yeah, went to go out a little ways. Couldn't see anything. Nothing. So he started heading back towards the tents. And on the way back you could hear his pal screaming. Yeah, and he said when he returned, the tents were all torn up, covered in blood. He said he didn't see his friends' bodies anywhere, but just there was blood everywhere, and everything was destroyed. And he also said that he heard growling from the darkness ahead of him. So what he did was run. Luckily for him, he knew exactly where the road was, which is obviously something very good. And he ran. He just kept running, and he said he heard this thing chasing right behind him. Like right behind him. So he ran faster. He said he thought he was gonna die. Because this thing was growling and snarling with the sound of its footsteps on the ground and how heavy its breathing was. This thing looked huge, or it must have been huge. So he kept running, and just as he thought he was going to be in the creature's grip, he had reached the road. Man said that my car was coming towards him, and that the creature was intimidated by the car's lights. He said the creature didn't come out into the main road. Um, and he said when we looked into the forest where the creature was, we saw this beast, this giant beast. Something that looked like human, but its skin was made of tree bark, and it wore a mask, kind of like a mask with two eye holes and a little tiny round mouth or something like that. And horns, large antlers on its head. Apparently this thing was huge, like big. Said this thing could carry this car that we're driving in right now. But it definitely did not like the light. And before he could finish, we had arrived to the police station. The dude did not hesitate to get out. I was going to stop him to ask for payment, but I thought that maybe this was a good idea just to leave it, considering he had probably witnessed his friends get murdered by some psycho killer or something. Do I believe him? Not really. I'm not necessarily the believe in werewolves and vampires and I don't know, Wendigo kind of person. I think what happened is some big brawdy man dressed up and just murdered them. Either that or it was just a prank. I hope it was a prank. I'm hoping it was a prank because I didn't hear any news added on to that. What else I've heard? Well, there have been a few car crashes with similar descriptions. Other people have said that gigantic wolves jumped out in front of their car and went back in the woods. Huge deers, like white and black and green deers. Oh weird. And other cases is some really weird ones are human beings just standing in front of the car and just stopping it. And these people got into car crashes where the person was just standing in front of the car and just straight up stopped the car. That was one of the weirder ones I've heard. Other ones are like, you get the people who are skeptics in here now and then, and like there are witches in these woods. There are cultists, cults, and murderers as well, sadistic people, psychopaths. Doesn't help though that a lot of people end up hiking and camping around these areas. I honestly think most of these stories are either a psycho, a wild deer, or maybe the odd wolf or bear. You don't get a lot of those, but there's always a chance. Oh, mountain lions, so they don't really like messing with people. They don't like coming near people or near camps and that kind of stuff, but you always get the weird one. You always get the weird type in the species. You never get and all of them are not perfect. Ah, we're leaving the forest now. See ahead of us, there's a city over there. No, 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 no. I haven't had any experiences myself. Then again, I'm pretty ignorant. Well, I mean, what do you think? You seemed rather interested in those stories. Ah, so you do believe them. Okay, okay. Yeah, I know. Tell me, are you new here? Oh, just moved here recently. Okay, okay. Just wondering because you don't usually most people know about this kind of stuff. Well, everyone living in the Sorel Shore. Yeah, all these towns here, they've all had their gossips and that kind of stuff. Oh, you want me to stop here? Okay. No problem. Oh, thanks for the cash. Thank you. Listen, if you ever want to ride, please, here. This is my number. Call me again. It's cool picking up with you. I don't really get to talk to a lot of people, so it was nice driving you around. And no, I don't mind driving late at night from one place to another. No, even to the woods. Yeah, enjoy your night. See ya.